conservative point of view to black issues. His mission: to provide a forum for honest discussions about social issues without the liberal lapdogs shutting down the discussion. Broadcasting from the American Truth Project Studios in beautiful Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. This is Conservative Nation with your host, JERMAIN BOTSIO.
Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Conservative Nation with me, your gracious host, JERMAIN BOTSIO. And on today's show, as you guys know, it's Weekend Rumble edition, and I got my main man, Anthony Allen, liberal demon slayer. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. Just to elaborate why I'm doing fantastic is because at great expense, heartbreaking expense, we see the discombobulation of the Democrat Party. We want them gone, and the way that they have decided to leave has been 13 Americans. But you know what? By golly, those guys are heroes, and Joe Biden has a nickname, Surrender Joe, and we have got to keep the pressure on these liberals. Do not back up, do not give up, because they have got to be gone.
Absolutely. Joe Biden, what a terrible year for him. I mean, this got to be the worst year of his whole life. You get what I'm saying? First of all, he's stuttering like crazy. He probably never stuttered like this in his whole life, Anthony Allen. You get what I'm saying? He's sniffing, he's sleeping. Let me tell you, he's asleep at the wheel for sure.
Yes. What can we do, except watch this, clown show? We are beyond clown show. We are beyond Twilight Zone. As a friend said, we are beyond, what's that comic book character? I mean, we're just beyond everything.
I know.
Bizarro world. We are beyond Bizarro world.
Yep.
We cannot ever even codify what's taking place in 7 months of Joe Biden.
No, I would never have thought it would have got this bad. I knew his presidency would be bad. I knew it would be very bad. But I didn't know it would be really this bad. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, it is really bad to the point where everybody and their mama's mama in the administration is lying. You get what I'm saying? They're lying. They don't know left from right. Look at Raggedy Ann. Raggedy Ann look more raggedy. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, she has earned that title, Raggedy Ann. Let me tell ya. Just like the administration, real raggedy. Anthony Allen, buddy, pal, look at the crowd. They're ready to rock. They're ready to roll.
Yeah.
What do you think? Should we get rocking?
We should get rocking and rolling, man, because we have a great show lined up for the crowd tonight.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys do me a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. I need your help. As you guys know, the technocrats hate this show because we don't speak, ladies and gentlemen, PC, right? We like to be honest. We like to tell the truth, right? We like to be genuine. They don't like that at all. They like us to go along with the lies. They like us, ladies and gentlemen, to speak badly about white people, right? Everybody is right. We don't play that game here.
Don't play that game here.
We commune by logic, not by color. And hopefully you agree. First one up here, brother, we're going to speak about a teacher, all right, that put out a video that is getting a lot of attention right now. This teacher mocks the American flag, all right, and she has students pledge allegiance to the pride flag. I want to go ahead and run this when it comes back. I want to get your take on it. I want to know what you think. I think we need to start getting rid of these feminist, liberal, female teachers. You can't, ladies and gentlemen, they crazy. Here we go. I mean, you can't get enough of these crazy folks. Here we go.
Okay, so during third period, we have announcements and they do the Pledge of Allegiance. I always tell my class, stand if you feel like it, don't stand if you feel like it, say the words if you want, don't have to say the words. So my class decided to stand but not say the words. Totally fine. Except for the fact that my room does not have a flag. It used to be there, but I took it down during COVID because it made me uncomfortable. And
made her uncomfortable.
I packed it away and I don't know where, and I haven't found it yet. But my kid today goes, hey, it's kind of weird that we just stand and then, we say it to nothing. And I'm like, oh, well, I gotta find it. Like, I'm working on it. I got you. In the meantime, I tell this kid, we do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he looks around and he goes, oh, that one?
Bow. Anthony Allen, my goodness gracious. These liberal demonic teachers, these are the teachers that fill up most of our teaching positions in public schools. What do you think about this? This teacher seems like they don't have any respect for the people who died for this flag and for the people who, afford her the right for her to speak nonsense like this. What do you think?
Yeah, this is not funny. In fact, I call this unfunny.
Absolutely.
Okay? Yeah, but the left, they do own education. And in particular, the leftist women, they are the ones contributing to the delinquency of our youth and contributing to the demise of our country. Watching this, we see that she is very, very accomplished in behaving this way.
Yep.
She is laughing, she's using irony, she's using sarcasm. So she's been doing this for a very, very long time. I bet you all the teachers at this school know that she behaves this way. They know how she responds to the students, okay? She is allowing these students to be brainwashed in a fun way by poking fun, and that's all she's doing. These students will be dumb and stupid. They will not have anything to be happy about when it comes to their education. But you know what? Why would this teacher be on TikTok? She's behaving like a teenager. Like
there you go.
Herself. So yeah, I believe that she should be fired, removed from her position now and in a hurry. So also, this school is allowing this to happen. She isn't the only one in that school that behaves this way.
Nope.
Pledging allegiance to the LBGT flag is promoting this sexualization of the students.
There you go.
That's all this is. She wants to sexualize these students to allow boys to, have that done to them, and to allow girls to have all kinds of things done to them. No, she is sexualizing the students to be homosexuals. That's all she's doing.
Absolutely. She got purple in her hair. Maybe she's a lesbian. You see what she said? Yeah, I took down the flag during COVID, and oops, I don't know where it's at. It's in a box somewhere, right? And the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, she's able to speak this callously, right? This, in a sense, recklessly, is because, ladies and gentlemen, people who are her peers agree with her. You understand?
Exactly.
Because if they didn't agree with her, she would, be a little bit cautious, right? She'll be a little bit apprehensive speaking this way. But she knows that the teaching community has this culture. Do you understand? You get what I'm saying? Now we're getting down to the science, the psychology of it, right? It has this culture that you don't care about, these type of things, right? You don't care about law enforcement. You don't care about rules. You don't care about order. But what you do care about, Anthony Allen, right? You care about emotion. Yes, emotional learning. Remember I told you that, Anthony Allen? Mm-hmm. That's all they preach. When you get nothing but women teaching your children, ladies and gentlemen, The women revert back to nature. Do you understand? That emotion, right? Timmy, how does the 2 make you feel? You know, how does 2 + 2 make you feel, Timmy? Ladies and gentlemen, we got to wake up. This is absolute nonsense. She is teaching disrespect to the children very early. And then, just like Anthony Allen said, sexualizing the children. The children shouldn't be learning about LGBTQ nothing. Do you understand? At that age, they should be learning about ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, Anthony Allen, and gosh darn it, learning to say yes, no, and do what your mama and daddy say. Yeah, exactly. Last words here, brother.
No, the last words, these students should be learning reading, writing, and arithmetic.
There you go.
And this emotional learning, like how do you feel about math? You know, how do you feel about 1 + 1 = 2? If you don't like it, you can write something else like 11, as long as you feel good. So yeah, this is emotional learning, and this is why academically American students are way behind the curve.
Absolutely.
We are having our lunch eaten by the Chinese, Japanese, everybody else around the world because our students are being taught emotionally and not logically.
Absolutely. And the thing is, it is so crazy that people aren't picking up why, our kids aren't doing well. They're not. We have too many of these feminist, liberal women teaching our children. And it's their goal, ladies and gentlemen, to shape our children in their image. You understand? We have to be abreast about it. And I think because now most of our children are being raised by mama, we don't have people who recognize what's going on. You get what I'm saying? The older generation that's phasing out is not saying, hey, we never had this type of dynamic before, right? Everybody wants to label as liberal and all this. Absolutely. But there is a component to it that nobody ever speaks about, right? How come Rush Limbaugh brought this up. I haven't heard Hannity and the rest of these people bring it up, that most of our educators are women. Yes. Point blank, period. Why do people shy away from that? That's one of the common denominators through and through. I mean, when we're speaking about education and why our children are screwed up, right? Yeah, you can look all day long up and down and point out everything that's going on. But when we speak about the women, holy smokes, hold on, holy smoke, you in trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't do that, right? You want to be honest, you got to be honest all the way. 90% of our children, I'll venture to say 9 to 5, are taught by liberal, demonic, feminist women. And I'm letting you know that. And they have an agenda. Liberal, feminist women hate, ladies and gentlemen, America. They hate the order of family. Why can't anybody see this? Anthony Allen, my goodness gracious. Right? I mean, it's quite apparent here. Yes, so we just need to tell the truth here. We need to get back to order. The men need to start saying, hey, we need equality right now. You know what I'm saying? Affirmative action. We need to get rid of half of these women. Get them out of here. Moving forward, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. Somebody need to hear that in that fashion, in that way. All right. So somebody needs to. None of that PC crap. Next one up here, brother. I want to go ahead and speak about this video that is catching a lot of heat right now. Let me tell you, a lot of heat, and it's very good heat. All right. And it's about wokeism. When wokes and racists actually agree on everything. I mean, I seen this video and my mouth dropped. Man, they good. Take a look at this when it come back. I want to get your take on it. Are they really putting out a message that people need to hear? Here we go.
When me and Brad first met, I didn't think we'd get along, but turns out we kind of agree on everything. Your racial identity is the most important thing. Everything should be looked at through the lens of race.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. We both have a lot of opinions about people of color, even though we barely know any.
I say colored people, but as long as we're classifying them, we both think minorities are a united group who think the same and act the same.
And vote the same. You don't want to lose your black card. Sorry, I don't know. I just think we should
roll back discrimination laws so we can hire based on race again. Jinx, now you owe me a Coke. Hey, tell them what you told me yesterday.
White actors should only do voices for white cartoon characters.
I've been saying that for years. Stick to your own.
Us white people, we have so much privilege.
I agree. It is a privilege to be white. Ask him about interracial dating.
All I said is that black men who date white women have internalized racism, and white men that date ethnic women are fetishizing them.
Guys against interracial dating now. Like, am I being pranked? Did Boomer put you up to this?
Ugh, you know that taco place is white owned?
White people should be making white foods like Kraft macaroni and cheese, no seasoning, not even salt. It's like he's a mind reader. I mean, I've been pushing for segregation forever, and my man does what?
I created an improv comedy show exclusively for ethnic people.
Guy segregates comedy on my birthday.
White people need to stop wearing dreadlocks, and they need to stop appropriating black people's music.
Shaved heads and country music, the way God intended.
You know all white people are racist.
I'm listening.
Even if you have a black wife or a black friend group, you're still really racist.
You know, we just kicked a guy out of the organization for having a black girlfriend, but if you can promise me he's still really racist, we'll consider letting him back in. Black people should only shop at black businesses.
I guess the only thing we really disagree about is I think white people are the root of all evil.
But what did I tell you, though? If we can narrow that down to a certain group of tiny-hatted white people, I think we can come to an understanding.
Technically, I don't consider Jewish people white.
Neither do I.
Wow.
But we're still cool with interracial cucking, right?
Yeah, as long as you pay for it. Sex work should be celebrated.
So there you go. Anthony Allen.
Yes.
The woke and the racist. My goodness gracious. It looked like they agree on a whole bunch. What do you think about this here?
Yeah, these two guys are pointing out something very, very important. That being woke and racist, they are the same side of the coin. That's what we're looking at here. Number one, racism is not popular anymore. So what can they do about that? Black Lives Matter, they are racist. Antifa, they are racist. The Congressional Black Caucus, of course, they are racist too. So what do? They just had this nuance where they rebrand themselves as being woke. Once you become woke, you can still maintain your same racist characteristic, but now it's acceptable. Once you become woke, you can burn down a whole city and they will not call you racist. Once you become woke, guess what you can do? You can call white people all kinds of racist names. You can call black people all kinds of racist names. But guess what? You will not be a racist. You'll be woke. Yes, they are exactly the same. These guys have hit it on the head. It was a great skit. Racism and wokeism, they are the same side of the coin. There is no difference. And as conservatives, we are happy to point this out so that people will know how to debate this too.
Absolutely.
You just put them together and debate them as one. Don't show any difference. Debate them as racist. Debate them as woke, and you'll always hit it on the head like these guys did here.
Absolutely. And what this shows is the hypocrisy and the nonsense in both of them.
Yes.
Because the person that's trying to be woke is really a racist. They just don't even know it. Right? they pointing out everything and trying to segregate, and that's exactly what the racists want. The racists like, yeah. Like, it was, shoot, I call it being racist. You call it being woke, right? All you're doing is looking at it from two different racial perspectives. You get what I'm saying, Anthony Allen?
Absolutely,
That's
man.
it. Holy smokes. Holy smokes, right? And conservatives have been pointing this out for a very long time. That, hey, all this woke crap you guys are doing is nonsense. Like, you guys are, remember we kept saying you guys are really the racists.
Yeah,
like we couldn't even believe it. And this skit really exhibits that. You get what I'm saying? I mean, the folks that are woke, they should just say that they're racist. They should join hand in hand with the KKK folks. I mean, you're doing their bidding. They love ya. Last words.
They are one and the same. The racists said, hey, we can be woke and be accepted, and no one even knows the difference. But yeah, these two guys did a good job of pointing that out. We've been pointing this out. My woke friends, or they aren't my friends, like my woke counter people who I'm always encountering, these people don't like it when I call them racist. And this is why, because now this proves it, that the woke are the racist.
Absolutely. What a gosh darn revelation. Let me tell you, the wokes are the racists. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. We need your help. As you guys know, these people are trying to get rid of us. They are trying to make sure that nobody sees our stream. We need your help. All right? All we ask for is hit that like button, share. All right? And if you can, help us out. Throw something in the tip jar. Help us, ladies and gentlemen, keep streaming, paying our bills, and keep putting out the content you guys love and deserve. Let me go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and give somebody a shout out here. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my guy, Robert Marvin. Robert Marvin just donated through Cash App. Shout out to you. Took the $5 challenge. And he put, it's time to flame. He said it's time to flame. Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I need your help. Next one up here. I want to go ahead and speak about a Washington public school that is making a lot of noise right now. All right. This Washington public school is requiring students to wear a monitoring device, ladies and gentlemen, a tracking device to trace COVID-19. I kid you not. And they're giving it to the athletes. Let me go ahead and run this. When it comes back, I want to get your take on this. Is this going too far? I believe it is. Here we go.
A big divide in the community tonight after a Pierce County school told its student athletes to wear monitors during practice. The school says it's to keep kids safe, but some parents say this is going way too far.
And we also got this picture from a student's mom to give you an idea of what it looks like. This is for contact tracing, and they're warned so that if anyone tests positive for COVID, the data will show who that person made close contact with. Now, a letter to families said this would help determine who would need to quarantine if this was a situation. Both vaccinated and unvaccinated students and staff were told to wear it. But despite this explanation, this didn't really sit very well with a lot of Eatonville parents.
And I actually appreciate what the school here tried to do to allow our kids the ability to play here. I just think the method was all wrong.
Bow. Anthony Allen. Washington and all sorts of other states are doing this. I believe a school here in Minnesota is doing the same thing. What do you think about this?
America is experiencing what I call liberal BS. That's all this is. These are maskaholics. They want people that are fully vaccinated to wear masks and to social distance, as if the vaccination, the vaccine had nothing helpful happen when people took the vaccine. We are seeing how these mandates are causing depression in our students. This is horrendous. These students are not learning because they're constantly under pressure with these mask mandates. Once again, the liberals are depressing our educational system. They are depressing our students, and this is not a learning environment. Okay, nowhere in the world do we see students being constantly put under pressure, jerked around. they can't learn this way, Jermaine BOTSIO. It is impossible for them to learn this way. But the main thing for me is that they are separating students based on their health and based on their vaccine, whether they have a vaccine or not. So this separation is a new form of Jim Crow. It's not a racial separation. It's not a color separation. It's a vaccine separation. This is vaccine Jim Crow, and it is spreading across the nation, separating people based on a vaccine. I call this the VCJ, the vaccine Jim Crow, and we will experience more and more of this as the months go by. The separation of people based on vaccines.
Absolutely. You know, when you go ahead and look at this here, ladies and gentlemen, this to me is prepping children for something that is coming down the road. You know, these vaccine passports that a lot of these states are now trying to mandate. This to me is kind of like a vaccine passport, but except a lot worse. First, they're going to put it on the athletes. Why? What's stopping them from putting it on the children when they walk into class? And you get what I'm saying, Anthony? What's stopping them from putting it on the children? Ladies and gentlemen, this is nuts. It really is. The children are almost like they're prisoners. You know what I'm saying? They need to be tracked and traced and all sorts of nonsense. And ladies and gentlemen, all this is doing is building more industries for people to make money. Anthony Allen, you know that, right? So now there's going to be an industry for, making these tracking devices. You get what I'm saying? And then you'll have lobbyists trying to push it so that they can make more of these tracking devices more accessible to different, aspects and avenues of people's lives. And I think this is just a real demonic thing to even let happen. The parents need to really step up because they're not going to stop with this. They're going to, in my eyes, move on to the children. What's going to stop them from just having everybody do it? I don't know why. Last words here, sir.
Yeah, so, they're talking about monitoring for COVID-19, but they can monitor for anything once they have these tracking devices, on people. Maybe they could monitor for someone that has a cold or the flu. Maybe they could monitor someone who has some kind of a different condition. But it really is all about control. How can they control the population? I'm also concerned about them putting these muzzles, these mask muzzles on kindergartens. Time a child comes to school, snap these monitoring devices on them, snap these muzzles on their faces, and you have a compliant, controlled population. But my main worry is the fact that they could monitor other things, other health conditions in people that they don't even know about. So yeah, this is COVID-19 monitoring, but it could be fill in the blank monitoring.
Absolutely. Fill in the blank monitoring. I mean, this is just a crazy thing here, ladies and gentlemen. You have to understand that they're not going to just stop with this.
No.
They're not. I don't know if people are strong enough right now with everything going on to really step up with, and stop these type of things. Because, Anthony Allen, we're getting hit with a barrage of crap left and right every day, right? Now people are losing their jobs because they don't want to get vaccinated. That's a very big thing that's going on. We don't hear many politicians standing up and saying this is gosh darn wrong. You know what I'm saying? But ladies and gentlemen, that's the future that we're heading towards right now. It looks like it.
Thing, brother. One more thing on this topic. We talked about, too, the social report card.
Yep.
This is the beginning of a social report card. They can report on your activities and give you credit, the social credit card. where you can move if you have a certain, credit accomplishment. If you don't say the Pledge of Allegiance, if you, have your vaccine, if you salute the gay flag, you get credit for all of that, and that makes your movement. That makes you able to move further and further. You could probably also, set these things to make sure that you can buy certain food. If you have a high social credit, according to the monitoring devices, you can buy a steak. If you don't have a high social credit rating, you can't buy a steak. So this is really also all about control.
All about control. I want to go ahead and give a shout out here. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my girl here, Teresa Capone. Teresa Capone, shout out to you. On Facebook. Shout out to you. Took the $5 challenge. Shout out to you. Thank you so much here. And I want to go ahead and give a shout out to the internet. Shout out to y'all. Let me go ahead and give them a shout out here. Took the $5 challenge, donated through PayPal. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Moving forward here, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I need your help. I need your help. All right. You see how crazy people are. You seen that teacher, right? She's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I need your help. Next one up. I want to go ahead and speak about this story that is getting a lot of attention. And this story was done by Indian News, Anthony Allen. Mm-hmm. It seems like a lot of the time we have to go outside of our country to get real news. Isn't that a shame?
It is a shame.
It's a supreme shame. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys share this. You will want to share this, okay? This is dealing with Pfizer. Apparently, Pfizer is being accused of extorting governments around the world. Story is, catching a lot of steam. I want to go ahead and run this when it comes back. I want to get you guys' take on this. Is there a way for us to, get a hold of these type of pharmaceutical companies and really, bring them down the hill? Let me go ahead and run this. Here we go.
And since we're discussing Pakistan, terrorism comes to mind. Terror comes in many forms, they say. Sometimes it's from the neighborhood. Sometimes it's online. Sometimes it's from those you entrust with saving lives. Vaccine makers, for example. While countries like India are sending free vaccines to poorer nations, there are companies like Pfizer which are bullying governments. It's a story in contrast, and what a stark contrast this is. The US-based company Pfizer is holding governments to ransom, interfering with their legislation, even demanding military bases as guarantee. Would you believe it? A vaccine maker asking for a country's military base in return for vaccines. On Gravitas tonight, we'll bring you 2 horror stories from Latin America and the bizarre demands that Pfizer is making. Let's start by looking at Pfizer's business in the region. It has vaccine deals with 9 Latin American countries: Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Mexico, Panama, Peru, and Uruguay. 2 major Latin American nations are missing from this list: Argentina and Brazil. Neither has a deal with Pfizer, but both have a story to tell. Let's start with Argentina. Talks between Argentina and Pfizer began in June 2020. In July, President Alberto Fernandez held a meeting with Pfizer's CEO in Argentina. Guess what followed? Pfizer asked to be compensated for the cost of any future lawsuits. What does that mean? Say someone files a civil lawsuit against Pfizer in Argentina, and if that person wins the case, who pays the compensation? It won't be Pfizer. It would be the government of Argentina. Now, Argentina had never done this before, but it made an exception. It needed life-saving vaccines, and desperate times call for desperate measures. So Argentina's parliament passed a new law in October 2020. But Pfizer was unhappy with its phrasing. The law said Pfizer needs to at least pay for negligence, for its own mistakes, if it happens to make any in future. Pfizer rejected this. It won't pay for its mistakes. Argentina then offered to amend the law to define negligence more clearly, to include only vaccine distribution and delivery under negligence. Pfizer was still not happy. It demanded the law be amended through a new decree. That's when Argentina put its foot down. They refused. Pfizer then asked Argentina to buy an international insurance. What for? To pay for potential future cases against the company. Argentina agreed. In December 2020, Pfizer came back with more demands. It wanted sovereign assets as collateral. What does that mean? Pfizer wanted Argentina to put, and listen to this, put its bank reserves, its military bases, and its embassy buildings at stake as collateral. Pfizer wanted Argentina to put its sovereignty at stake for what? Just to secure vaccines. There is no doubt that Pfizer is sitting on a pile of life-saving drugs. But what gives it the right to bully a government? Profiteering from your plight and mine. You see, vaccine manufacturers have always enjoyed a certain amount of liability waiver. Say you receive a vaccine from Pfizer, you have adverse effects because of the jab. You can always go ahead and file a lawsuit against the company. And if you win that lawsuit, instead of Pfizer, it will be the government that will be compensating you. And this is a normal practice. In the United States, for example, the PrEP Act, that's the Public Readiness and Emergency Preparedness Act, gives total immunity to companies like Pfizer and Moderna. But this is only if something goes wrong unintentionally. This does not apply to negligence. Pfizer is not happy with that. It wants more, not just sovereign assets, but a fraud insurance. Argentina was not okay with this. What about Brazil? What did Pfizer do in Brazil? The world's third most affected country. Pfizer went a step ahead and asked Brazil to create a guarantee fund and deposit money in a foreign bank account. On the 23rd of January 2021, Brazil's health ministry put out this statement, citing excerpts from Pfizer's pre-contract clauses. These are Pfizer's demands. Look at this. Number one, Brazil waives the sovereignty of its assets abroad in favor of Pfizer. This is a vaccine company. Number two, that the rules of the land be not applied on Pfizer. Number three, that Brazil take into consideration a delay in delivery. Number four, that Pfizer is not penalized for it, for a delay in delivery. And number five, in case of any side effects, Pfizer be exempted from all civil liability. The government of Brazil calls these clauses abusive. And they're right. It goes without saying, the Pfizer deal with Brazil failed too. This is a report by the Bureau of Investigative Journalism. It talks about a third country, one whose deal with Pfizer was reportedly pushed back by 3 months. Why? Because Pfizer made similar bizarre demands. The company has just 2 billion doses to deliver this year, and that is on a first-come, first-served basis. A delay of 3 months can cost a whole year, and it can cost a lot of lives. Pfizer is playing with life-saving drugs. It is abusing its position, and having developed a vaccine with the help of government funding, it is now throwing tantrums at governments. Did you know that Pfizer's German partner, BioNTech, was given $445 million by the government of Germany? The US paid Pfizer $2 billion as early as July 2020. This was against pre-orders. Pfizer is looking at making $15 billion from vaccine sales this year. It is in talks with 100 countries and organizations. There is no dearth of money for this company. Why then is Pfizer bent on squeezing desperate countries of their assets? Like we showed you, 9 Latin American and Caribbean countries struck deals with Pfizer for vaccines. What did they have to give up in exchange? Military bases? Embassy buildings, sovereign funds. Look at Pfizer's hypocrisy. It is bullying poor countries behind closed doors. And in front of the press, it is playing Messiah. On the 22nd of January, Pfizer signed an agreement with COVAX, the Global Vaccine Alliance. It committed 40 million doses to poor countries this year. And the company put out a press release. You must listen to what they say. I want to read out a particular quote from Pfizer Chairman and CEO Albert Bourla. At Pfizer, he says, "We believe that every person deserves to be seen, heard, and cared for. And that's why, from the very beginning of our vaccine development program, Pfizer and BioNTech have been firmly committed to working towards equitable and affordable access of COVID-19 vaccines for people around the world." Does this make you angry too? It's time we call out such companies that are out to profiteer from the pandemic. WeOn is now available in your country. Download the app now.
Bow. Anthony Allen. Whoo, hold on. Woo! Let me go ahead and put out my disclaimer. Man, oh man. I'm not telling anybody not to take the vaccine. I'm not challenging the efficacy of the vaccine at all. Anthony Allen, I don't know why this is not national news here in this country. You know, Pfizer got a hold of this country, I could tell you that. This is some really serious stuff here. You know, they're playing the false compassion Luciferian game, right? You know, the nice little propaganda. Yeah, we care. And behind the scenes, they have the vaccine, right? And they made the vaccine, ladies and gentlemen, with government money, right? Yes. They so slick as criminals, Anthony Allen. Imagine, right? Imagine this. You take the government money, you create the vaccine, and then what you do, you hold it like this. Hey, I ain't going to get this up. Yeah, you know, if I'm going to give up some of these doses, I'm going to need military bases. I'm going to need $100,000 trillion. Anthony Allen, they acted like, you know, selfish children with it. What do you think here? Bullying.
Yeah, this is an outrage of epic proportions. Big Pharma, I should say, they are behaving like the Borg, right? They want to assimilate these countries, bring them into the collective. They want their sovereign property, military bases, whatever they can get.
That's ridiculous.
They have more power than countries do. You know, they are behaving like the Chinese. And I believe that on the board of these big pharma companies are Chinese communists. This is the same type of activity, the same kind of behavior the Chinese put off in Africa, where they obtain the sovereign property of the state.
Yep.
They obtain, these coastal seaports, railroads, mines, sovereign property, and now big pharma, they're going after military bases. So no, these people, because of the vaccines that was made by government where government money was used to make it, they are now behaving like government entities, government forces, by obtaining these countries, and that's all they want to do. These poor countries in South America, the poor countries in Africa, they are being assimilated, brought into heel by big pharma, and I think that this is being driven by the Chinese. The Chinese are very, very good with their belt and rolled tactics, and we can see these tactics now playing out in South America. It would be a tragedy when, big pharma, comes up and they own a military base. It would be a tragedy when big pharma begins to own a country's seaports. It would be a tragedy when big pharma owns a country. And that's what we see happening now. Big pharma raising its ugly head, behaving like the Borg, trying to assimilate countries.
Absolutely. This is what we call the medical mafia right here, Anthony Allen.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? This is the real medical mafia. When we made that term up, folks got upset and mad. But ladies and gentlemen, this is what a mafia boss does. You get what I'm saying? They get the drug. They literally are legal drug dealers, right? If you were on the street dealing drugs like this, you would do the same thing, except instead of saying what you want, you would take what you want. And I want folks to understand these people are behaving like gangsters in the street. That's exactly what they're doing. Behaving like gangsters in the street. The only difference is that they got a suit and a tie. They're in, suit and a tie. They're sitting in some air-conditioned office, right? And they believe that they are better than you. That's it. And I want people to understand this. These people are gangsters. And the thing that they're putting out, ladies and gentlemen, people are still getting COVID. So they're not really peddling anything that's that good. You get what I'm saying? Anthony, I'm being honest. It's not that good. Yeah. You know, how you gonna be gangsters like this and then the stuff you peddling ain't that good? You know what I'm saying? Last words on this here.
The stuff they peddle is not that good. People are taking the vaccines, and now they are required to take a booster shot.
Yep.
Every 6 months, 8 months, maybe even 5 months. So how effective are these vaccines? But they are leveraging them in these poor countries. The Philippines, a poor country, they're being leveraged by the Chinese and by Big Pharma in a big way. South America, they're being leveraged by Big Pharma. Big Pharma wants to own countries.
Yep.
And we cannot have that, particularly when Big Pharma relied on government money to make them Big Pharma.
Absolutely. And the thing is, Anthony Allen, they want complete sovereignty.
Yes.
These people, yes. I mean, that is, ladies and gentlemen, that's criminal. Do you understand? So you're basically an entity with no repercussions. You can do whatever you want. This is exactly what they want, ladies and gentlemen, and it's not being told like this. I wonder how much the federal government bowed down. How much did they get on their knees for, Anthony Allen? You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Did they have to get on their knees and pucker up? What did they have to do, Anthony Allen? Did they have to grab the Vaseline? How many bottles of Vaseline did U.S. have to do? Because if they're doing this to the small guys, right, and it's not being told, what did they do to the big guys? You get what I'm saying? What did the big guys give up? And we already heard what they gave up. Gosh darn immunity. You heard it, right? So if you get sick or anything, you can't blame them, ladies and gentlemen. So these people are running around the world with complete autonomy. Nobody can touch them. Complete sovereignty. No law. That's wild. That is wild. So that's wild. Anthony Allen, that's wild.
Crazy, yeah.
It is. That is really wild. And no other entity, in my eyes, has this power, Anthony Allen. No other entity at all. Wow, man. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my girl, Debbie Augustin. Debbie Augustin just donated here. Shout out to you, sweetheart. Absolutely. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Helping us pay our bills. Helping us, ladies and gentlemen, put out the content you guys love and deserve. Next one up here. I want to go ahead and speak about Larry Elder. Now, I think me and you spoke about a little bit about Larry Elder. Right now, apparently, California State is looking into his finances. They're saying that he may not have disclosed all his income. You see how crazy these fools are?
Yeah.
So now they're going after him and looking at his finances, try to audit him in. Now you got this crazy ex-fiance that is doing a whole bunch of damage. She's going to all the networks now, Anthony Allen. You know, somebody done gave her the DNC shoes. You know the DNC shoes, right? Lying and making up stuff. So she put on them shoes. She's doing the circuit right now. I want to go ahead and run this story when it comes back. I want to get your take on it. Because Larry Elder right now, he has a very, very, very good chance of being California's next governor. And one thing a lot of people are now beginning to speak about, and something that I've been pointing out for a very long time, is that we have too many of these type of women who are coming out and doing these things. Should there be a law or some sort of limit of statute of these type of felonious accusations? Let me go ahead and run it. When I come back, I want to get your take on it. Here we go.
Okay, we're just 19 days away from California's recall election. If it passes, Gavin Newsom will be removed from office, and whoever gets the most votes among the 40-plus candidates will become California's governor. As candidates campaign across the state, Governor Gavin Newsom's rally with Vice President Kamala Harris tomorrow in Daly City has been canceled. And now Larry Elder's ex-fiancée is doubling down on allegations she's made about his misconduct.
Larry Elder's ex-fiancée, Alexandra Datig, confirms to ABC 7 News that she's now filed a police report over an incident from 6 years ago when she says Elder brandished a loaded gun at her during an argument about their breakup.
He pulled a loaded gun out of a drawer in the middle of a discussion with me to try to intimidate me.
Datig also included a new allegation in her report. She says Elder pushed her in 2014 during what she calls a fit of drug-induced anger. The Los Angeles Police Department confirms they are aware of the accusations and say they are investigating. Earlier this month, Elder denied Datig's allegations in a series of tweets, saying, "I have never brandished a gun at anyone. It's not me, and everyone who knows me knows it's not me." Datig says this denial is what prompted her to report to police.
Domestic violence is a crime, and that applies to Larry Elder as much as it applies to everybody else.
Elder, a conservative talk show host, is the front-runner candidate to replace Governor Gavin Newsom in the recall election. He's been drawing large crowds at campaign events across the state, and this week he picked up an unexpected endorsement from Democrat Gloria Romero, a former California legislator and longtime charter school proponent.
Yes, I'm a Democrat, but the recall of Newsom is not about political party. It's about Newsom.
Elder again declined to join his challengers for a debate last night. He says he will only debate if Newsom does. Still, he was a target. Former San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer took aim at Elder for his position on women.
Larry Elder does not have the character, the judgment, the skill set, or the experience to be governor.
Faulconer is also airing a new campaign ad that goes after both Newsom and Elder at the same time.
California is in crisis, but we shouldn't just replace one dysfunctional governor with another.
At Wednesday's debate, Democrat Kevin Paffrath joined for the first time. He pitched himself as a fresh candidate with out-of-the-box ideas, including this one to battle the water crisis.
On day one, I will declare a state of emergency to begin the construction, as soon as feasibly possible, of a pipeline to the Mississippi River.
Polls continue to show the recall in a dead heat. In an effort to energize Democratic voters, Governor Newsom had planned to hold a rally with Vice President Kamala Harris tomorrow in Daly City, but it has now been canceled. A spokesperson for the vice president says she is heading back to Washington, D.C.
And Vice President Harris's team has not explicitly said why the event was canceled, but of course we can presume it's because of the tragic events unfolding in Afghanistan. It has not been rescheduled. And every voter is getting a mail-in ballot for the recall election. Because of the pandemic, you only have until Monday to register to
vote. So Anthony Allen, Larry Elder looks like the brother might do something. You know, when you get hit like this, you need a round of applause. Hold on, we're going to give him a round of applause.
Yes.
Because I know when liberals are coming after you like this, me. I know you're doing something nice. You know, when they got to dig out an ex-girlfriend, you know, a baby mama, you know, a disgruntled employee. You get what I'm saying? You know you're doing something right, ladies and gentlemen. I want folks to understand that. I want you to understand it. Now, Alexandra Datig, all right, apparently she used to be a producer of his show at one point, all right? They had, you know, a relationship, the relationship ended. Larry Elder still to this day has not even said anything crazy about the woman. All right. I want folks to understand the nature of this, right? And women know what the deal is, right? When you break up with a guy, you like to run and tell everybody and their mama how bad he is, right? And usually the guy is quiet. He don't say nothing about the evil stuff you've been doing. This type of nonsense goes on through and through. How come we don't have good women and people in the press pointing stuff like this out? I mean, it's absolutely outrageous. Why do we put emphasis and credibility on things this felonious, such as her speaking about, being brandishing a gun and being pushed? I mean, my goodness, Anthony, what do you think?
Yeah, this is desperation of the Newsom campaign. Larry Elder will be the next governor of California.
Yep.
A libertarian, conservative, black. This is what the Democrats fear the most, that someone that works hard, plays by the rules, suddenly becomes the governor, suddenly becomes very, very successful. Well, not suddenly. Larry Elder was already successful.
Yep.
But the point is, they do not want a black person of success to be seen by other blacks to say, hey, we can do that too. Black can be governors and presidents, so we can do that too. They do not want that to be known. So this is something that Democrats always do to liberals. They always find some hussy to trot out, and she's getting paid for this. There's a Swiss bank account somewhere.
Absolutely.
She's not doing this for nothing.
She ain't doing this for free.
Paid for it. Absolutely, she's getting paid for it. But this happens all the time. And we have to keep in mind as conservatives, we've seen this play with Kavanaugh, we've seen this play with Trump, we've seen this play with all conservatives, black or white. A week before the election, guess what? They will trot out somebody
else
5 times as worse as this. Okay, because that's what they do. A week before the election, they got 2 or 3 hussies coming out.
Yep.
So this is to be expected. Larry Elder is smart. He's savvy. He did not go to a debate in which Newsom wasn't there. He stayed away. How smart is that? This campaign, the Newsom campaign, is so screwed up that they had to cancel a campaign with the vice president, clown Kamala Harris.
Yep.
This is outrageous. He can't get any traction except to attack Larry Elder using hussies. That
Absolutely.
is the definition of a campaign that's in losing mode. Larry Elder will be the next governor of California, and we will love it when California goes red, and maybe even he can bring California into the red electoral college. We would love to see that happen.
Absolutely. This just proves to me, and it really it is a good example of a trait that most women have here. When they get upset, when they get mad, they can turn on you like this, and she would probably say she's a Republican. She would probably say that. This is something that a lot of people have pointed out, and a lot of women actually don't speak about. Anthony Allen, do you know that a lot of women always say that they don't like hanging out with other women? Have you heard about that before?
Yeah, I have heard women say that. They would rather hang out with guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, a scorned woman, that's what they call it, scorned women, they can turn on you. A great relationship, all of a sudden, they don't like something, and you say,
Yep.
What?
Absolutely.
Like
and the thing is, the reason why I brought that up is because women understand other women, and they know their traits. They know that a lot of women are backstabbers, right? They know that a lot of women like to talk and gossip, right? A lot of women like to talk behind other women's back, right? Women are, quote unquote, a lot of them are fake. Anthony Allen. Women will be friends with another woman just to laugh at her and talk behind her back. And women know this.
Yes.
So this trait that is there, all right, is something that nobody likes to speak about, but they like to, behave and act upon it. And I want folks to understand this is something that conservatives need to be honest and start speaking about, because we're having too many of this. We need laws to prevent this, Anthony Allen. Yeah. Because, you can't just be going up for office or going up for a job, and just because somebody had a relationship with you, somehow that means you're disqualified, right? Because you had a relationship with the person and they had some problem with you in the relationship. Somehow, Anthony Allen, that converts to you're not good enough for the job.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And this is the way women think. Right? They do the same thing when it comes to children in family court. Right? It's the same thing, women. Right? You don't like the man. And then all of a sudden now, he's not a good what? He's not a good father.
Not a good father.
Right? You have a problem with him. He cheated on you, right? He said he don't love you anymore. Instead of you to deal with him head up, you try to sabotage him. You say he's not a good father. And this is what goes on. So it's the trait that is there, and it's something that I like to point out, because if we don't point out this trait, they'll like to sweep it under the rug, and I want folks to understand it. It's a very evil trait. Last words here, sir.
It is a very evil trait.
Evil trait. I'm very honest about evil.
Some kind of law to prevent them from doing this. A guy goes up for election, he's seeking some high job, and some hussy comes out from the haystack or the woodwork to undermine this person. And it's all a lie. She's not going to be able to get any traction on this. In fact, the LAPD, they decided not to investigate this because they know it's a bunch of hooey.
Yep.
Now, they will try more hussies, and they will look into his finances, but it only goes to show the desperation of the Newsom campaign. Okay, the numbers have tanked. These negative campaigns that Democrats do, they temporarily lower the victims' numbers for a while.
Yep.
But then they pop back up to normal again, and that's why they have to find, when to do it, a week, a couple of days before the election to depress those numbers so they can win. But they're going to come out with more and worse the closer we get to the fact that our guy, Elder, will be governor. The closer we get to that election date, the more will come out about Elder, but he will become governor.
Absolutely. There'll be some woman that he dated that will come up and make up a lie.
Yeah.
You'll see it. And there will be no shortage of women to do this. So, right. It's something that needs to be pointed out. And it's something that I believe if good women in the world stepped up, a lot of this wouldn't be happening. It wouldn't be happening at all. But it's a trait that most of them have. That's why you don't see most of them stepping up. And I'm just very honest about it. You can get mad at me all you want, but try to prove me wrong. Try to. I haven't had anybody prove me wrong. Next one up. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share. I need your help. All right? I need your help. I want to go ahead, brother, and speak about the Capitol Police officers that are suing Trump over January 6th. All right? They are citing the KKK Act. Now, I don't know how far this will get. They have these black police officers who are, they're acting like their mama right now. You get what I'm saying, Anthony Allen? Real emotional, looking at their black skin and holding it. I don't know what's going on with them, but one thing I do know, Anthony Allen, they ain't telling the truth. I want to go ahead and run this story here. This video comes from MSNBC, and this will definitely let you guys know the thought process of what they're thinking and why they decided to go after President Trump. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. All right. Here we go.
Tonight, 7 U.S. Capitol police officers are suing former President Donald Trump, Roger Stone, and members of white supremacist organizations, accusing them of coordinating the attack on the Capitol on January 6th. The suit says the defendants participated in, quote, an unlawful effort to use force, intimidation, and threats to prevent Congress from certifying the results of the 2020 presidential election. This is at least the 4th lawsuit filed against Trump related to the January 6th insurrection. Tonight, I'm joined exclusively by one of the attorneys representing those 7 police officers. Damon Hewitt is the president and executive director of the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law. Damon, great to have you. Can you lay out the sort of the legal foundation for this lawsuit? Under what law are you suing them? What are you suing them for?
Well, look, we're calling this exactly what it is, Chris. This is an inherently racist attempt to subvert democracy and to do so by force. And there's a very old federal statute, the Ku Klux Klan Act, designed to address exactly this type of situation. And in case viewers are wondering, no, you don't have to be wearing a disguise or a robe, what have you, or a hood for this kind of crime. If you use, as you said, force, intimidation, threat to stop an officer from conducting of the United States, from conducting his and her due job and duties, either because of who they are or to do it while they're trying to carry out their jobs, then that is a violation of federal law. But more so, you can't just stand back and throw your hands up and say, we didn't have anything to do with it when you were part of the conspiracy all along. If you know what's about to happen, you see it happening, and you don't do anything to stop it, that's a crime as well. And those are the 2 main statutes that we're using under federal law to file this lawsuit.
Yeah, the Ku Klux Klan Act, which is from the Reconstruction era, 1871, of course, when the Klan was using violence, intimidation, and terrorism to disrupt democracy, multiracial democracy in the South. As you allege in the lawsuit, defendants, meaning the folks that you are suing, violated the Ku Klux Klan Act, which was designed to prevent precisely the kinds of politically and racially motivated violence they caused and committed on January 6th. What's the burden you have to show here about their involvement?
Well, look, what we have to show is that there was actually a conspiracy among these individuals. And I think the paper trail shows that. A lot of this is available, frankly, in the public domain because of great reporting like yours and your colleagues. But we've also conducted a very thorough investigation and demonstrate throughout the complaint how all of this aligns. It aligns through the tweets from Trump and the like. It aligns from the public statements from these individuals leading up to the event of January 6th, the insurrection, but also long before that as well. All of this falls in line. All of these actors were working in common. They may not have been in the same meeting, huddling together, but they're all related and are all of a piece.
I want to play for you some of the emotional testimony from one of the officers who was there that day, Harry Dunn, who testified.
Right here. So, Anthony Allen, you get the gist of what's going on here, right? We got the Capitol police officers here that are suing Trump. They're citing the KKK Act. They're trying to say that Trump and some other actors conspired to do this, all right? And they're saying that they can prove it through tweets, through statements. They may have not been working in concert, but in common. What do you think about this? Are they reaching with a lot of these accusations and, these statements that they're making?
Yeah, they are reaching, scratching, and clawing. Okay? All this is prep work or Democrat campaigning for the 2024 election of Donald John Trump. The Democrats and the deep state, all they want to do is dirty Trump, to malign Trump, to set the narrative
Yep.
that he is a racist, a KKK. And they've been doing that since 2016. It hasn't worked. It doesn't work. People have seen the work that Trump has done, and they want to try to find some way to dirty Trump up. And they will continue this on and on. These Capitol Police officers, they don't have that kind of money to pay this lawyer.
Yep.
This lawyer is probably being paid under the table by some Democrat operatives, and that's why they're getting, that's why he's out there, because he's getting paid by these people. So the KKK Act, that act will never convict Donald John Trump. It wasn't even designed to convict Donald John Trump. It was designed back during that time to convict actual members
of the KKK. Yep.
This guy citing this law, he's citing it in a way that makes it seem as if the law was designed to convict white people of these crimes. No, these were criminals, KKK, hooded, and they were doing something very, very specific. And that's what the law is designed to do. So no, Trump will never be convicted under this. Many have tried, and it will not happen. And getting back to Dunn, he is the police officer that testified.
Yep.
He is a crybaby, and he is an activist that happens to work for the Capitol Police.
Yep.
But this whole idea that if you're, a Capitol Police and you're whining about being called some racial term, you should not be a police. He should just resign. Who says that when you are a police officer, you should never, ever be called anything ugly? If that's the case, he should resign.
Yep.
Why is it that black people think whenever they get called a racial name, that gives them permission to sue the whole world because someone called them a name? We are the only people who want to sue everybody because we get called a bad name. It's called being a baby. It's called being a wimp. It's called being a snowflake.
Yep.
It is what liberals are, snowflakes.
They're snowflakes, and they act like they mama.
Yes.
That's exactly what's going on. These people are reaching through and through. With this KKK Act, they're not going to be able to prove anything. They're not at all. This wasn't done in a conspiracy manner at all. These people are reaching Anthony Allen. And you know which person is reaching the most? This Michael Byrd, this Capitol Police officer who shot an unarmed white woman. This black man who shot an unarmed white woman. Let me tell you. He got off scot-free right now. He's saying that if he had not shot her, people would have died. I'm telling you, it's the most craziest thing in the world. I want to go ahead and run this, and I want to wrap this thing up here because it looks like, these people are trying to really, cover their ends. They're suing Trump and then making sure that their God does not get called. We haven't even, seen a lot of the investigation in the news. They're burying it. The husband is torn apart. Let me tell you, these people are criminals. Let me run this here.
Were you afraid that day?
I was very afraid.
Are you afraid now? Going forward?
I am afraid because I know there's people that disagree with my actions on January the 6th. But I hope they understand I did my job. And there was imminent threats and danger to the members of Congress.
In the chaotic minutes before Lieutenant Michael Byrd shot and killed rioter Ashley Babbitt, a cascade of alarming messages crackled through his police radio.
He yells for help and, officer down and screaming as they're being assaulted.
This video from inside the House chamber captures Byrd instructing members of Congress to don gas masks.
We had a disbursement of tear gas in the rotunda.
Then, instructions to prepare for the worst.
I'd ask them to remove their pens, to remove their jackets, to look like staff as much as possible, and to seek shelter by staying down below their chairs.
Soon, a horde of demonstrators stormed up the stairs to the House chamber.
There's a gun! He's got a gun! He's got a gun!
Byrd is seen taking a defensive posture with his gun drawn.
I didn't even realize I had been yelling and screaming as loud as I was. Please stop, get back, stop.
We see your arm out there for a considerable amount of time. Yes. Were you wavering?
I was, again, taking a tactical stance. You're ultimately hoping that your commands will be complied with, and unfortunately they were not.
What did you think this individual was doing at that moment?
She was posing a threat to the United States House of Representatives.
But an attorney for Ashley Babbitt's family disputes that. He did not respond to our request for a comment, but in a previous statement said Babbitt was not brandishing a weapon, not in close proximity to members of Congress, and was not an imminent threat of death or serious injury to anyone. Based on your training, in that case, does it matter that the person was armed or not?
According to law, it does not.
So according to law, it does not matter if the person's armed or not. What do you think about this here? He shows no remorse. He was doing this fake crime bit when he was talking about people who are saying that they want to whoop his ass. Apparently that led him to cry, Anthony Allen. You get what I'm saying? People threaten to whoop my ass all day long, Anthony Allen. Gosh darn it, my mouth keep running. But people threaten to whoop his ass, he's ready to shed a tear. What do you think?
Yeah, he should not even be at Capitol Police. This is a yahoo that left his gun in the men's bathroom, okay? He should have been fired for that. Now this yahoo, he sees a 5'5" woman worming her way through a hole, and he becomes frightened, and he just points his gun and shoots her. No other officer was concerned about a 5'5" woman worming her way through an opening. Just pull her on through, put her in a headlock, pull her on through, handcuff her. She's 5'5", okay? Yep. What can she do? She's not armed, but he claims he didn't save her arms. You know why? Because her arms were probably locked by her side as she was worming through that hole.
Yeah.
He actually murdered a unarmed white woman crawling through a hole. And now he is being rehabilitated by Lester Holt by saying that he was called a bad word. He was called a bad word, and he's being threatened. Oh my gosh, you and I are threatened every single day. They know where we stand on the issues, and they talk smack to us,
yep,
families. My goodness, this guy needs to be fired, and I hope that conservatives find a way to make it clear that this guy should not be on the Capitol Police Force. His rank, why? How in the world did he get that rank?
Yeah, lieutenant acting like this
in a bathroom. He should not be a lieutenant, if I'm not mistaken. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He should be fired. He should be let go. He's a scaredy cat, almost a crybaby. No, he killed a woman, an unarmed white woman. That's what he should be known for.
Absolutely. And the thing is, this guy here, I believe he's an affirmative action lieutenant right here.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. You get what I'm saying? This is what affirmative action gets you. Blacks in position that they shouldn't be in. That's affirmative action for you. This is absolutely outrageous. It is. No remorse for the things he has done. This man does not care what he has done to this family at all. No. Lester Holt is an idiot too. I mean, the way that he's questioning this man as if he's the victim. You get what I'm saying, Anthony Allen? Mm-hmm. This black police officer is not a victim at all. He's a how could I say? He in a sense is a victim of his own consequence, I should say. I should revert that. He is a victim of his own consequence. Had he have not made that awful mistake in shooting an unarmed white woman, he would not be in this mess here. And the Liberal Party, because they hate white people, they hate anybody who loves this country, they'll do whatever they can to get this man off. And they did it. Right? No other, I don't even know where they do this at, Anthony Allen, where you can go and shoot somebody unarmed, clearly no threat at all, and get away with it. Usually, with all the police nonsense going on in this country right now, we would think that this man would be under the jail.
Yeah.
But he's not. So it lets us know everything they're doing is political. That's what it comes down to. And Anthony Allen, I believe her husband can sue civilly. You get what I'm saying? Just like the Goldmans and the Browns. Last words before we move on.
Yeah, he should go down that route and sue in civil court. And this guy, Byrd, he is a disgrace. With all the shootings that these colored and blacks and Negroes are always complaining about, unarmed black man, unarmed. Yep. They will not complain about an unarmed white woman. It is political. It is the height of hypocrisy for these people not to charge this man for killing a diminutive 5'5" unarmed black woman crawling through an opening. All they had to do was just pull her through and hog tie her and push her in a corner somewhere. Okay, no big deal.
He didn't want to do that. He took this other route. He should be scared somebody gonna whoop his ass. He should be. Every day before he brushes his teeth, he should be thinking about, damn, I done killed a unarmed white woman and people want to whoop my ass. That if anything, that should be a very good punishment. Looking over your back every day of your life. You get what I'm saying, Anthony Allen? Yeah. And the way her husband looked, he looked like one of them men who like to hunt. You get what I'm saying? Big ass beard. He looked like he can spend a lot of time in the woods, if you know what I mean, Anthony Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he better sit there and be worried. Shoot, you kill somebody's wife like that, right? No remorse. You better be worried. Next one up here, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go ahead and I want to speak about Biden. All right, today, ladies and gentlemen, there was a dignified transfer of 13 fallen U.S. servicemen. I want to go ahead and run this clip here, and when it comes back, I want to speak about it. Here we go. Make sure you share. So we see the U.S. servicemen coming back here. You see how much respect they had, ladies and gentlemen? You see the movements, sharp and precise. Honor and respect, integrity. These are the things that make up soldiers nowadays. Anthony Allen, I want to go ahead before we speak on this. There's an audio of a mother who's absolutely heartbroken. Her son was one of the 13 killed. She was on a show here, and I want to run this. When it comes back, I want to speak about it. Because I believe there's a lot of people out here who still don't know the impact that Creepy Joe, Sleepy Joe, at the wheel Joe has done to this nation and families across the country. Here we go.
I'm going to take this call. I'm going to start with calls here. Kathy, Colorado, you're on the Will Count Majority. Hello.
Hey, my son was one of the Marines that died yesterday. And to listen to that. Sorry, I'm on the radio.
No. Go ahead.
My son was one of the Marines that died yesterday. 20 years and 6 months old. Getting ready to come home from frickin' Jordan to be with his wife to watch the birth of his son. And that feckless, dementia-ridden piece of crap just sent my son to die. I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning to Marines at my door telling me my son was dead. So, to have her on right before me and listen to that piece of crap talk about diplomatic crap with freaking Taliban terrorists who just freaking blew up my son and know nothing, to not say anything about, oh my God, I'm so sorry for the families. So my son is gone, and I just want all you Democrats who cheated in the election or who voted for him legitimately, you just killed my son. With a dementia-ridden piece of crap who doesn't even know he's in the White House. He still thinks he's a senator. So, I'm going to try and calm down. I'm sorry.
No, you look. I take this call with due trust here. I would hope nobody would call up and say if this wasn't true. I can't imagine what.
A Marine just left my house 2 minutes ago, getting my divorce decree. Two Marines showed up at my house at 4 o'clock in the morning to tell me my son was dead. So, my name is Kathy McCullum. My son was Riley James McCullum. You can check it out. His wife, she might not want me to say her name. They just got married on February 14th, and they're expecting a baby on September 26th. And
So Anthony Allen, heartbreaking. Yes. Heartbreaking. Mother is absolutely pissed off, and let me tell you, she is right to be pissed off. She brought up something that a lot of people have been speaking about. Joe Biden is not remorseful at all. He's not even saying I'm sorry to the families. She even said that. I haven't even. I'm sorry to hear that. Anthony Allen, what do you think about this here, sir?
I'm telling you, this was very, very difficult to listen to. And Will Cow, he was also completely undone. Anyone that hears this anguish can only, support what this mother has to say about Joe Biden as a feckless, dementia-ridden piece of crap. That is exactly what he is. I believe that with all my heart. Here is a man that contracted out airport security to Taliban terrorists. These same Taliban terrorists were responsible for stopping terrorism. That doesn't even make sense in the wildest world of make-believe that someone would think this.
Yeah.
All these men were at this procession bringing these men home. They were all standing up there. They're all together. I'm telling you, each and every one of them should be relieved of their duties.
Yep.
Lloyd Austin, the Secretary of Defense, he is a complete disgrace. Mark Milley, the Chief of Staff, he is a complete disgrace. They should be relieved of their duty. Joe Biden should be impeached.
Yep.
Jill Biden should be stripped of her, being the First Lady. What's his name? Anthony Blinken, Secretary of State. He should step down in disgrace. The CIA should step down in disgrace. All these people are standing there pretending as if they have some remorse.
Yep.
Where were the families? I understand that families couldn't meet there. Maybe these families decided not to go because those yahoos were going to be there.
Yep.
To me, it was just a, press op for Biden. Biden didn't even know why he was there. He is so dementia-ridden. But yes, this is a complete disgrace when what these young men did had to do over 20 years of blood, sweat, and tears. Joe Biden and his clown administration, they undid it in 90 hours, 3.5 days. That's how long it took this man to undo 20 years of blood, sweat, and tears. It is a complete disgrace.
It's a big, big, big disgrace. Huge disgrace. A blunder. Families are ruined. Our reputation is ruined. This man here, he doesn't even know what he's doing at all. At all, Anthony Allen. It is so terrible. And I feel so much for this mother here. Yes. So much for her. There's a lot of people, ladies and gentlemen, who are very upset by this. Now, Anthony Allen, we have Afghan refugees who are now coming into this country by the boatloads. I mean, thousands daily being shipped over here with the dust and the sand between their toes. They're being put up by Christian ministries, right? Apparently, we have a lot of good-hearted Christians in this country, right, who seem to just, care about refugees, but not, the homeless vets. You can catch a liberal Christian ready to grab a refugee, right, but not ready to help an American. It's quite wild in my eyes. I want to go ahead and run this here. It speaks about Christian services on Afghan refugees, and it also speaks about Afghan refugees being, put into a lot of these different states here as well. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys share and hit this like button. I want to know, are Christians doing us a disservice now? I know right now we have this, this fake, Christian movement that's out here. And it seems like that's all they care about is emotion and nothing else. It's another one of them. Here we go.
From the Emergency Refugee and Migration Assistance Fund to be used. In addition to Secretary of State staff as well, he is also asking people working for U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services to help out. They'll deploy to either Texas, Wisconsin, or California, where the U.S. says that they're making space for around 22,000 people who applied for an Afghan Special Immigrant Visa, or SIV.
Persons that come to these locations will have been pre-screened by the Department of Homeland Security to enter on condition of full immigration processing once they arrive.
National security officials say there are as many as 60,000 Afghans who could qualify for refugee or SIV status, and that doesn't include their families. And as those people seek refuge, efforts around the world are starting to prepare for an influx of people.
And Bethany Christian Services, based in West Michigan, is ready to help out as soon as necessary. Our Julie Dunmeyer spoke with the agency's director of refugee resettlement today. And Julie, what did you learn about this?
Well, Janice, since 2015, Bethany Christian Services has resettled 97 Afghani refugees and also done special immigrant visas as well. And they're in a good position to do so. Again, they're just waiting on the call.
It's devastating what is happening. Heartbreaking images out of Afghanistan after the Taliban takes control, reaching local organization Bethany Christian Services. We have had Afghans coming into our office asking for their family members, pleading for us to do something, anything, for them to be able to come to the United States. Program director for Bethany's Refugee Adult and Family Services program says they are ready to help. We are well poised to be able to address the needs of Afghan refugees. But the situation is too new to do anything yet. They've successfully resettled nearly 100 people already, aiding Afghani refugees fleeing the Taliban by helping establish their lives in West Michigan. And I know that Grand Rapids and West Michigan, Holland will welcome Afghan refugees as well if we have that opportunity. Saying the refugees already here are terrified. They have been here in the United States and have experienced the freedoms here in the U.S., and they have longed for that for their family overseas. And now their family is going to go through exactly what they had to go through before. But being in a position to help, Bethany is hopeful they can make the American dream a reality for those in the darkest of moments. It is a new situation constantly unfolding, and so we don't know what that will look like, but we are ready to respond.
So again, while there are no refugees currently coming over here and taking part in using Bethany Christian Services, I did ask Christine if we could talk to some of the existing Afghani refugees who have successfully gotten their citizenship and started their lives here in West Michigan. But we can't put those families on the news. According to Christine, it's too dangerous for their loved ones still in Afghanistan. Bethany Christian Services saying they've started the process of helping the folks if contacted, but again, it's too soon to tell.
Wow. So, Anthony Allen, let me go ahead and give a shout out to a couple of folks who donated. I want to go ahead and give a special shout out to my girl, Kristen Walker, beautiful woman. Shout out to you. Donated. Took the $5 challenge plus 2. Shout out to you. Shout out to Tracy Chandler. Shout out to Tracy Chandler. Absolutely. Tracy Chandler took the $5 challenge. Shout out to you. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Anthony Allen, what do you think about this here? Now, this woman from Bethany Christian Services here, right? She is saying that they are helping various families with being set up. All right. So basically, probably they'll give them a stipend, probably help them get an apartment, furnish the apartment, things of this nature. They probably get some sort of, government stipend as well to help do that. What do you think about that? Do you think that we may be setting ourselves up for failure by doing this? Sometimes I believe compassion can lead to despair. What do you think?
Yeah, charity starts at home, and these services, they know that there is a lot of money in putting America last. You put America last, you can make money. You put Americans first, then you lose money and you become hated. And so that's what we see here. There are people in Baltimore and Chicago that would need these services. How about Atlanta? There's a huge homeless population in LA, and we also have a huge population of homeless people that are veterans, and they could utilize these expertise and services to give them housing. But these organizations, these Christian organizations, they are not doing that because it is about money for them. And they know good and well that putting America last, browning America, that's the way to make money. And so it is false compassion that they're showing when they don't start at home with their charity.
Yep.
The other thing I'd like to say is that these people they are helping, these brown people, refugees, they are not minorities in the country that they are being brought from.
Yep.
They get here and then they become and given a minority status.
Yep.
They just walk in the door and guess what? All of a sudden they get more benefits. They get all the benefits of our charitable tax system.
There you go.
All of that. Now, the people putting into it that need those services in Chicago, Atlanta, Baltimore, LA, and the homeless veterans, they get none of those services. But off the airplane, you hit American soil,
stand on their feet.
The refugees, you get everything, a red carpet. I think that it is a tragedy that they are doing this. So these agencies are balkanizing America.
Yep.
Balkanizing America sets it up for defeat. And that's what they want. The defeat of America as a balkanized country full of different ethnic groups, all in the, all different, all screwed up. Also, one more point. The Democrats are also importing their voters.
There you go.
Voter scheme. Yeah.
Absolutely. They're importing the voters, and the white Christians are doing it. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let these white Christians fool ya. They're getting some money somewhere, Anthony Allen. They're getting money somewhere to help house and put these refugees somewhere. You get what I'm saying, Anthony Allen? Don't let these people fool you, Anthony Allen. And ladies and gentlemen, with this quote unquote compassion and where it's the Christian thing to do. It's the Christian thing to do when the government probably giving you a little money on the back end. You get what I'm saying? Folks need to start realizing this. And the thing is, the government looks for a lot of these faith-based charities, in a sense, to help them do some of these things, Anthony Allen. You know why, right? Because they can change the demographic change, a lot of the views of what's going on once you get folks helping and doing these things here. This to me is a very bad deal, because what Christians don't understand is when these people come here, they're not going to sit here and vote Republican. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, just because they're Christian doesn't mean they're vote Republican. And we have a lot of folks who are quote unquote Christian and they're Republican and conservative who are doing this as well, Anthony Allen. And for some reason they can't get the fact that doing this in a sense may be their own demise. We have people here who truly need the help. I haven't seen any of these churches stand up like they did on TV here and say, hey, we're taking all homeless vets. We want to put you up. If you're out there scraggling around, running around with change, you're dropping your drawers, come here, drop your drawers in a brand new apartment. You get what I'm saying, Anthony Allen? They're not doing this. But yet you're caping for some people across the pond with sand on their feet who have, in a sense, no moral virtue in our country because they haven't done anything. Yeah, it's just wild. Last words.
Yeah, that is wild. They haven't contributed into the tax system. They have no connection with our country. And, too, they are likely not to convert to Christianity, and they definitely will vote for the Democrats. So this is a bad deal all the way around. And charity starts at home.
Yep.
That's the Christian message. You know, charity, take care of your home. But this is not happening, and they are being used to brown America. They are being used to change the demographic, like you mentioned, and this will not work out good for us at all.
Not at all. And I wish people would start pointing out some of these Christians who are just using that as a way to, push their agenda. Anthony Allen. Now, I want to show you a video here that everybody and their mama's mama is showing. The Israeli prime minister had a meeting with Biden the other day. And let me tell you something. Biden did something that everybody and their mama's mama been calling him out for, which is sleeping. I mean, we call him Sleepy Joe for a reason, and now he's truly earned that title. I want to go ahead and show the crowd this. Sleepy Joe appears to have fallen asleep during a meeting with the Prime Minister of Israel. You guys take a look at this. Here we go.
Yet another chapter in the beautiful story of the friendship between our two nations, the United States of America and the Jewish and democratic state of Israel. Both of us who seek to do good and need to be strong. Both of us who are...
Let me go ahead and play it again.
Yet another chapter in the beautiful story of the friendship between our two nations, the United States of America and the Jewish and democratic state of Israel. Both of us who seek to do good and need to be strong. Both of us who are...
Anthony Allen. Sleepy Joe looked like he was gosh darn dead asleep. What do you think? I mean, he truly earned this title now.
You know, it does appear that Joe was sleeping. Of course, the spin is, and the new take is, he wasn't sleeping, okay? But I would say that he was sleeping, unless they have a close-up where his eyes are moving and he's paying attention. But you know what? We have to also keep in mind that this is not the only time in which Joe was caught sleeping. Joe has been sleeping on the southern border, okay? How about the Keystone Pipeline? This is another Sleepy Joe debacle, okay? How about the Colonial Pipeline hack, which they had to pay a ransom of, I don't know, $5 million? That is also an example of Sleepy Joe sleeping.
Yep.
Of course, the COVID-19 debacle, the economy, Joe is once again sleeping. And of course, Joe was in La La Land when, after 20 years of hard work and blood, sweat, and tears, he gave Afghanistan to the terrorists.
Yep.
Joe was sleeping then. He was also sleeping when he allowed the Army to contract out airport security to the Taliban terrorists. Okay, this is Sleepy Joe, and we see what happens when Sleepy Joe sits in a chair, he falls asleep. The Prime Minister of Israel was very, very polite. He just kind of looked at Joe, saw that he was sleeping and dozing, and turned his head away and talked to the camera. This is where we are in our country, Jermaine BOTSIO. We have a sleeping president, okay, that cannot stay awake. He is dementia-ridden, like the mother of the fallen officer said, and we are in dire straits now with this man in office.
Absolutely. In dire straits. And the thing is, this man here, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't call this man out, if we don't get enough politicians to get this man out, he's going to sink the whole U.S. Anthony Allen, you see what's going on? The world has gone to hell because this man is sleeping on the wheel. Literally, he's bumping into stuff. You get what I'm saying? If he was a bus driver, Anthony Allen, he'll be like this. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Iraq, Afghanistan bump. Pow. You get what I'm saying? COVID bump. Pow. You get what I'm saying? That's all he's doing. He's bumping into stuff while he's driving. And he's not a good driver at all. So that's what it is. That is, ladies and gentlemen, our show for tonight. Anthony Allen, Buddy Powell. My goodness gracious. We fly these losers. Yeah. We absolutely did. Brother, I want to thank you for coming on in here, hanging out with me tonight. Any last words for the crowd before we depart?
Where we are now, the state of emergency with Joe Biden at the helm, sleep at the helm, I should say. We are going to go through a rocky time in our country. That's why our Constitution requires virtuous men to be at the helm. Our Constitution doesn't have the necessary, and it was designed this way to make sure that virtuous men, because a unvirtuous man can take 7 months. That's all it takes to have a fool like Joe Biden at the helm. He is not a virtuous man. Our Constitution requires virtue, good people, manning the helm. Also, we have to realize that they want to divide our country. We cannot allow them, conservatives, Republicans, patriots, people that love this country, we cannot allow these people to divide us along color, along race, along height, along, gender, whatever they find, they want to divide us. Our president said, President Trump, he said, stay together, stick together. And that's what I want us to do as a conservative nation, stick together. 2022 is coming. We will win those midterms. And 2024 is coming. It will be a fight. We will win it, but we have got to stick together.
We have to stick together. And that's the only way that we can do it. We have to stick together. What I want to say is that we have to also look at a lot of the things that we're doing as a nation. We have a lot of red herrings that are being thrown our way right now. Yes. Afghanistan is probably one of the biggest ones. It's a big blunder, but it's taken away from a lot of the things that are in the news, right? The Supreme Court had a hearing that dealt with the election. Nobody spoke about that, right? There's stuff that's happening right now, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes down to these COVID mandates. They're not speaking about this, right? Afghanistan is overshadowing a lot of very, let me tell you, important news that deals with your constitutional freedoms. And I want people to understand that. And it will overshadow a lot probably for the next couple weeks. And I want people to understand that. So even though this is a bad deal, a blunder, but it's a godsend for a lot of these Democrats, Luciferians, people who are pushing things that they don't want the general public to see. Because when you turn on the news right now, they're not speaking about the things in the Supreme Court. They're speaking about Afghanistan, right? That's what they're doing, right? We got to blame Joe Biden. We got to do this. Well, we got, let me tell you, hundreds of things we can talk about as well.
Yes.
So my whole thing is that we need to make sure that we keep our eyes on the prize and not be thrown off by all these other things that they're throwing at us, because the news cycle, that's the way it is. That's the way the propaganda machine is set up. It's set up for these big events, right? And these big events are supposed to overshadow what the left hand's doing, right? The right hand is the big events, right? Get you all worked up. And when you're worked up, that's all you want to hear about. And I'm letting folks know, all you want to hear about is Afghanistan. Show me more stories. Right? That's the way they get you. While all these other stories that are very important to us are swept under the rug, they're not spoken about until it's affecting us. Do you understand? So that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is our show for tonight. Anthony Allen, thank you once more for coming on in here, hanging out with us. The crowd absolutely adores and misses and thanks you as well, sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be on tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central, giving you guys the good word. Make sure you guys look out for me for another edition of Conservative Nation. You guys take care. Love ya. And have a good night. Bye-bye.